My grievance is to the Minister for Child Protection and Community Services. I wish to raise with the Minister the matter of children in Carnarvon being at risk because they do not have a safe house to turn to for help and protection, or simply an alternative shelter for being on the streets. I think that there has been a good focus from government on providing shelters for women escaping violence in their homes. I believe there needs to be a parallel focus on providing safe places for children to sleep at night, somewhere where they can have a meal, a shower, be provided with clean clothing and be rested so that they can attend school the next day. Thus, I implore you, Minister, to seriously consider the suggestion by the Shire President and help the Carnarvon community and support the establishment of a safe house for children. Thank you.
I thank the member for the grievance. At the outset, I want to acknowledge that I understand and appreciate the frustrations of people, particularly in regional towns, but around the state, when it comes to at-risk youth. But I can't help but think it's quite coincidental timing when it comes to this grievance. And I can only hope that is coincidental timing to the matter of a by-election in North West Central, that this member has brought the grievance in relation to antisocial behaviour in Carnarvon. I only hope that the member's interest in these challenging social issues extends past the North West by-election. We'll see if that's the case. Member, there is a misconception that there's no capacity to manage young people who are out very late at night or the early hours of the morning if there is no responsible adult to care for them. This is actually not the case. If police or other authorities cannot find a responsible adult to take these young people, and they are able and frequently do contact the Department of Community's crisis care line. And while this is a statewide line, that line will then access local on-call staff from the Department of Communities, whose job it is to manage these young people. This system has been in place over successive governments. It is true that the Department of Communities are not rostered 24/7, as police and other emergency services are, but they are local and they are available on call and to receive children and young people who may be at risk to themselves or others. Youth crime and antisocial behaviour in any community is caused by complex and long-standing and often intergenerational issues, and the state government is committed to helping at-risk young people get on track. The WA government is taking a multi-pronged approach to tackling youth crime in Carnarvon and other places. In the case of Carnarvon, the Department of Communities is working closely with the Shire, the WA Police Force, the Department of Education, local community organisations and those including Aboriginal controlled organisations on youth and social issues. You mentioned, member, our successful Target 120 program, which will now roll out in Carnarvon as part of an $11 million expansion of the program to manage high-risk young people who have already had contact with police. Target 120 has proved to be extremely successful in supporting our most at-risk young people to turn their lives around. So much so that about half of the young people involved in this program have had no further contact with police. I want to just briefly refer to some of the outcomes in some of the other locations of those that have been involved in Target 120. For instance, in Armidale, since the life of the program, the young people involved in Target 120 had 84 interactions with police before the Target 120 program. Since being involved in Target 120, those young people have had 2 interactions with police. In the case of Geraldton, those young people involved in Target 120 cumulatively had 182 contacts with police after the program, but during and after the program, that has now reduced to 75 contacts with police. In Kununurra, one of the locations where the program is being run by an Aboriginal controlled organisations, MG Corporation, there were 201 interactions with police. Since the program, that has been reduced to 55 interactions with police. Actually, this week, Acting Speaker, I had the pleasure of meeting with some senior BHP representatives on this matter, and those representatives were interested to know what their company could do to participate in a positive way to address youth offending. And those BHP representatives, senior representatives, were really impressed with the Target 120 outcomes. In Rockingham Peel, those young people had 147 interactions with police since being involved in Target 120, and that's now been reduced to 28. In Mirrabooka, 129 interactions before Target 120. That is now 37 interactions with police after being involved in Target 120. So these are really encouraging and heartening outcomes. What's particularly important, though, is the multiplier effect that applies with Target 120, and that is that it's a program that not only works with those young people, but it works to address the causes of their behaviour, and that means that we're interacting with the whole family. And so, since being involved in Target 120, there have been 117 clients that have exited the program, but in fact there has been nearly 496 family members who have been impacted across the state by the Target 120 program. This is a sort of evidence-based, constructive approach that as a government we want to take to dealing with antisocial behaviour. And the member referred to Target 120 Plus. This is a pilot program where we'll look at those young people who have actually had time in Banksia Hill to see whether this program will be effective for them, and that's been undertaken in Broome. The Department of Communities has a strong on-the-ground presence in Carnarvon, with a regional executive director in the Midwest Gascoyne based in the town, along with child protection and housing staff. This is the most senior person in the Department of Communities in the region, and I acknowledge the Shire President Eddie Smith thanking us for placing that staff member in the Shire, in the town of Carnarvon. I also want to thank the police for their work in working cooperatively with the Department of Communities and the Education Department staff, as well as community members, to deal with some of this antisocial behaviour. So we have the District Leadership Group and others working together to deal with this issue.